Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mark. In this video, I wanted to go over a really important concept, the topic of grounding. I wanted to give a little bit more of a background and some information as to what's really going on with the body from the sense of an electromagnetic perspective. Um, we'll remove the emotion piece of it, the story piece, the living in the story piece, and we're going to take a step back and we're going to understand a little bit more about what's happening and why it's very important to ground. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when I release new videos. I would so much appreciate that. So grounding, we've heard a lot about it. We talk a lot about it. Everybody says they need to be grounding. How do we do that? People have different ways of doing that, going for walks in nature. We could do yoga. We could, anything that gets us focused on our body. Um, those types of things gets us present, gets us really focused on the here and now, right? But what's really happening from an electromagnetic perspective that causes us to need to ground, and why is it so important to do, and why it could be very damaging if we don't regularly ground. So the purpose of this video is to give you a better perspective um, on from a physiological standpoint, what's really happening. We're gonna really compare our body to a circuit, like a circuit you have in your house, an electrical circuit with a fuse box, those kind of things. And hopefully when we're done, you're going to have a little bit of a better understanding as to why it's so important to ground, and what's happening within our bodies when we're getting overamped, when we're starting to feel ungrounded or starting to feel tired and fatigued and those types of things. So um, we live in an electromagnetic universe. So everything is powered in this dualistic universe, basically by electricity. So the electricity and electromagnetism is what creates the duality. It creates the manifestation of energy into physical. It allows us to focus on thoughts, which as a result will start to manifest things into the physical that's in alignment with those thoughts. What's going on in that whole process is, if you think of a wave, if we draw like a line and we think of a wave, right? It comes down, the crest and the trough, and it goes up. That really represents the electromagnetic background, the radiation, the energy of this physical universe. It's a wave, okay? And there's two polarities to the wave. Just like with a magnet, you have a positive and you have a negative, and they repel, and the two likes, and the opposites would attract, right? So we have that nature. That's the electromagnetic nature of our universe. When we're more positive, when our bodies, okay, start to charge up, we become more positive, okay? And when we start to decharge, we become more negative. And that's a cycle. And that cycle is really represented by the 24 hours on the clock and the Earth's rotation, um, and the daylight. Okay, when we go to sleep at night, you could think of it as a decharging period. Okay, when we're in the sun during the day, when the daylight is out and up, and we are awake and we are aware, we are in a charging period. We're charging. We're being charged. Okay, so we're becoming during the day more electrically charged. Okay, so what we do at night is just the opposite. We decharge. Okay, so we're like a battery, aren't we? Doesn't that sound like a battery? We're in a cycle, and we have this biological rhythm, the circadian rhythm, which keeps us in sync with the planet as it spins. And that's why at night most things go to sleep. They are in a recharging process. So as we start our day, what happens is, if we look at that wave, we start to go up. We're charging electrically, up, 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 up. Okay. And then as we go to sleep, we start to come down. So we go through this wave cycle. Now, what happens during the day when we start to focus more of that energy, incoming energy, out into our reality? Let's say we get triggered. All right. When we get triggered, we're not able to take that energy and be a completed circuit. We're not allowed to take the sun's energy, the high frequency light that's coming into us, and ground it into the earth. We essentially, we interrupt it. We become like a resistor. We interrupt that energy flow. Now, when we're triggered, we redirect it. Instead of coming down and grounding, just like a lightning rod would do with a lightning bolt, what we do is the energy comes in and it goes out. Okay, so we become like an overamped circuit. And when that happens, the same thing happens as, a circuit in your house. When you have too much voltage running through a circuit, it will trip the circuit breaker. The system, the electrical system, cannot handle that. Now, in our bodies, the nervous system cannot handle continually being overamped like that, okay? Because we take this charge in, we don't ground it, we funnel that energy out into our reality. That's what happens from an emotional standpoint when we start to focus on a story, and we start to focus on our emotions. We start to become our emotions. We're not grounding that energy. It's being diverted into our mental body, out into our reality, and we focus on that. So we're redirecting it. And because it's stuck in our mental body, it's staying within our system, and it's continually overamping our system. Okay. So what happens physically? We start to get exhausted. Maybe we get a headache. We're feeling dehydrated. We just can't function properly because all our energy is, it's not, we've basically become a resistance, right? And we have slowed down this energy flow to the point where it's just not flowing properly, and it starts to overload our nervous system. Long-term effect of this, we develop anxiety, fear, fibromyalgia, gastrointestinal disorders that could elevate up to disease in terms of cancer and diabetes and heart disease and all sorts of things. Okay. That's because this energy is not being discharged. It's not properly being grounded. It's being held in our field. All right. So when we go to sleep at night, we start to decharge some of that. So maybe, we go up on the wave and then we come down a little bit, and then we wake up the next day and we flip it back around right away because the mind kicks back in. And that starts the cycle all over again. So we never really get to fully discharge. And again, some of the symptoms of that are really the monkey mind, the mind constantly going. You wake up in the morning, the stories start, the mind kicks right back in, and your energy, instead of being present with it and grounding it, it goes right back out into your reality. And that's what causes the physical body to start to break down with overamping the nervous system. All right. Aging is another example of that. The tissues in the body, the tissues in the organ, even the brain tissues, Alzheimer's, things like that, they don't have the ability to heal, to rebalance. Okay. The whole point of going to sleep at night is to bring that electrical charge down. Okay. We want to bring the body back into balance. And when we're sleeping at night, we're not focused on the physical reality because all of our senses are shut down. They're really desensitized. So that allows that charge to come down. Okay. And when we wake back up in the morning, the cycle starts all over again. So in order to better deal with and process and integrate the energy that we are being blessed with on a daily basis, and even with the full moon now, great opportunity as well, is to learn to be present with the energy and to ground continuously during the day. Okay, we need to take this energy and we need to ground it into the ground. That way, when we we're not going to be as fatigued. When we go to sleep at night, we're going to be able to recover. And the more we're able to do that, you're going to find that you're less tired. Maybe you're going to need less sleep. These are all signs that you are doing a better job at grounding this energy while you're awake during the day. Now, your battery, your body doesn't need, 8, 10, 12 hours during the night to recharge itself. Okay. So that's why it's very important to learn to ground. Now, how do we ground? You can look online, there's so many different ways people ground. The whole concept of grounding really is to become present. to get your thoughts and your mind back to source. So however you do that, if you want to take walks in nature, put your feet in the grass, take a walk on a beach, take a salt bath, do yoga, bringing your awareness back to your body, nature, bringing it back to your physical body. That's a great way to do it. Breath work is fantastic. Anything that takes you out of that mental monkey mind state and gets you focused in the body, or gets you focused on something away from the external reality. Okay. So ideally we want to step away from our five senses and get in tune with what's going on within our body, the feelings and that kind of thing. So anything that allows you to do that works. And we don't have to spend hours daily doing this. We could spend a few moments 5 times throughout the day. Just to give you an example, I've got a reminders set on my watch here that, every few hours it comes up because, I get busy during the day, and it reminds me to just shift my thoughts back to source. Okay. So I'll take a few moments, I'll take a few breaths and reconnect with source and know that I'm a multidimensional being. And those breaths are very grounding. It steps you away from constantly flowing that energy out into your mental body and overamping your system. So fantastic way to do that. Just, get an app for your phone and have it kick off reminders every 2, every 3, every 4 hours, however you want to do it. It just gets you to pause, stop, make that separation, and pull some of that charge away from your mind, away from your mental body. Okay. And that, with some breaths, like I said, is a great way to ground throughout the day. So when you start doing that, you're going to realize that, you're not as tired because you're giving yourself a break. You are diffusing some of that electrical system that is your body. Okay. That electromagnetic system. You are allowing it to come away from its capacity, and really restore proper energy flow. Okay. Because what happens when we overamp a system, a fuse pops, and we definitely don't want that to happen. And disease and these types of symptoms, like I said, like chronic pain and arthritis, things like that, are really warning signs that our system is approaching capacity and it's overamped. All right. We're running too much electricity through our nerves. It's like, trying to pump a ton of voltage through a wire that just doesn't have the capacity. The wire is going to burn out, right? The circuit's going to burn out, or that fuse or breaker is going to pop. So that's basically it. So think of yourself as that wave. And when you're starting to get overamped, know that you're climbing up on there, and we need to start to bring it back down through grounding. And if you could do that, I think it may be helpful to pull you. It's going to pull you out of the story, because you're going to see it as a physiological, energetic type of process, electromagnetic, and know what's going on. Because when the stories start to kick up and the anxieties start to kick up, it's just very simply a fact that you are just diverting that energy, your energy, your divine energy, into those emotions and those feelings, into the mind. And that's starting to overamp you. Okay. That's where the stress comes in. It's one of those indicators that you're starting to get overamped. So think of it as that electromagnetic wave. We want to diffuse the electricity. We want to ground it. And just like we ground a circuit, we give that electricity a path to go into Gaia. And Gaia is here and offers up her assistance for just that. And that alone restores energy flow. And that will slow your system down and allow it to recharge. It'll get the energy flowing so much better, so that you're going to really be able to create that space and be more in tune with source, and be less driven by your thoughts, by your memories, by your traumas, your experiences, your stories. So that's it. I hope this video helped you guys out. If this helped, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Again, hit that notification bell, hit the thumbs up for sure. And if this video is going to help other people, I would appreciate it if you would at least share it somewhere. One place would be fantastic to help to get this information out. So But until next time, guys, love and light.